Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have with me some spicy hot chocolate in one of my favorite Halloween mugs because I'm going to be talking about my spooky TBR for October. And I am so excited for all of the books on this list, and I'm just gonna get right into it. My first book is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. It is a classic ghost story. It is a Penguin classic. Classic, classic, classic. The back of this book promises that 4 people will kind of come to Hill House, and that as Hill House gathers its powers, it will claim one of the 4 people as its own. I am so ready for this. I'm just gonna read y'all the first few sentences so you just have like an idea of how great this book is going to be. No live organism can continue for long to exist sanely under conditions of absolute reality. Even larks and katydids are supposed by some to dream. Hill House, not sane, stood by itself against its hills, holding darkness within. It had stood so for 80 years and might stand for 80 more. Within, walls continued upright, bricks met neatly, floors were firm, and doors were sensibly shut. Silence lay steadily against the wood and stone of Hill House, and whatever walked there walked alone. What? What? The second book on my TBR this month is Something Wicked This Way Comes by Bradbury. I'll put a little picture up here because I don't have a physical copy with me yet. It is on hold at the library and I should be getting it in a couple days. In trying to figure out which all books I should read this month, I was researching and this book kept coming up and all of the descriptions just kept saying that it feels like fall. It feels like fall in a book, and that is what I want. That is all I want. That's not all I want, but it's a lot of what I want. I want fall all the time. And if I can get it in book form, all the better. I look like I don't know what this. Also, confession time, I have not read nearly enough Ray Bradbury, so this is perfect. I will go ahead and check another one off of his list. Something Wicked This Way Comes is about 2 boys and their curiosity as kind of a carnival rolls into their town, bringing with it basically all the things that Halloween is made for. And it's set just a little bit before Halloween, and so yeah, I can tell it's fall in a book. Man. My third book is The Graveyard, shiny cover. This is what happens when you get books from the library, all the covers are really shiny. My third book is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Hello Neil, we meet again. I almost chose Coraline and I may still read that again, but I've never read The Graveyard Book before, so this felt like perfect timing. It's young adult and it has like all of these really cool illustrations in it. In this book, we follow Nobody Owens, aka Bod, as he's being kind of raised in this graveyard by ghosts. The premise is basically like there's danger in the graveyard, but there's also danger lurking outside of the graveyard, and that's literally all I know about this book and all I want to know going into it. My fourth book is Salem's Lot by Stephen King, which I am also waiting to get from the library. And another confession time, I've never actually read anything by Stephen King, besides On Writing, which doesn't really count. Do I think it's funny that I have a book that Stephen King has written about writing when I haven't read any of his writing? Yes, I do. Am I proud of this? No. He's always kind of intimidated me, like I guess I never just knew where to start, and so I thought about reading Carrie, I thought about reading The Shining, but then I read the description of Salem's Lot and I kind of just decided that that was what I was feeling at this moment. Salem's Lot is about a small town in Maine called Salem's Lot and what happens when 3 strangers kind of come to the town and all of the kind of strange events that start happening thereafter. One reviewer I saw referred to it as the American version of Dracula, and I was just like, yeah, check, sign me up, I'm ready for that. The 5th book on my list is World War Z by Max Brooks. I know that this doesn't really have the spooky vibe, but it is about zombies, so I'm kind of giving this a pass. I've been curious for a while now, kind of from a writer's standpoint, but also from a reader's, how the format of this story works. It says it's an oral history of the zombie apocalypse, and it's basically told in an interview kind of style, and I'm very curious how that's going to carry throughout the novel. So this is basically just as much to satiate my writer's curiosity as it is to satiate my reader's curiosity, but why the heck not? I've heard mixed reviews about the movie that was based off of the book, but it has Brad Pitt in it, who also is in another movie of a book that is on my TBR next. Does that make sense? It's Interview with the Vampire. The sixth book on my list is Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice, and I chose this book because vampires. Besides Dracula, I think this might be the next closest classic vampire novel. It has a bonus of being set in New Orleans and Paris, of which I love both of those cities so much, and then I can watch the movie with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. Also a classic. The seventh and final book on my TBR is One Dark Throne by Kendare Blake. It is the second book in a duology following this book, Three Dark Crowns. This is a fantasy book that does deal with magic, but it's not exactly Halloween-y in theme, but when I read the first one, I got a very kind of creepy vibe off of it. And One Dark Throne just came out in September, so this will be the most recently published book on my TBR this month. Three Dark Crowns had kind of a slow start, but I just freaking loved the cliffhanger and the twist that it left off at. And it's been a book that I've genuinely thought about since reading it, and I'm so excited for the sequel. This duology takes place in the world of Finburn, where each generation a set of triplets are born with their own brand of magic, an elemental, a poisoner, and a naturalist. All three of them are then raised separately and born queens, but only one can ascend to queen crowned, and basically to figure out who that one is, they must fight each other to the death. The poem I've always found to be kind of an example of how kind of creepy spooky it can be. Three dark queens are born in a glen. Sweet little triplets will never be friends. Three dark sisters all fair to be seen. Two to devour and one to be queen. I got to meet Kendare Blake in person at a book event, and she was just a sweetheart. And I love the story about how bees inspired Three Dark Crowns, and the whole thing is just so great, and I'm excited to finally see the conclusion of this story. Okay, so that's all 7 books on my spooky TBR. I think I'm most excited for Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House, but all of these are just I'm gonna have a great freaking month, y'all. Please comment down below with what's on your TBR for October, and also if you have any spooky reading recommendations, I would absolutely love to hear them. I know horror and scary books are kind of like a divisive genre and type, and so please also let me know if that is just so not your thing, because it's so not my friends' things either. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to see more. I'm gonna get back to reading. Thank you so much for watching. I will see y'all very soon with a new video. Bye. I'm so ready for haunted houses and corn mazes and trick-or-treaters and costumes, and I'm just, whoo, I'm way too excited.